Hello everybody, it's Jeff Jackman today, and I'm recording in my car today, but today we're going to be talking about the Dixie Vodka 400 at Homestead, Miami Speedway. Okay, so, that race, this is my second recap video, and I do have to say this race was I would say it was much better than the Martinsville race. It wasn't insanely better, but it's a pretty good race. Stage one, okay, first off, I think they invited 1,000 people from, like, nearby place, like, army bases and stuff, and, people from, like, nearby towns to the race. I'm sorry. I feel bad for you guys. Okay, after the race was bad, there was, like, there was, like, a 3-hour lightning delay throughout this race. Like, if they were, like, it took them, like, the race started, it was supposed to start at 3:30 or so. I don't think they finished the first stage till, like, 7 o'clock or 7:30. Like, it was, like, I would have felt terrible if I was a fan. Like, I don't know how you could have even stayed unless they locked you guys in there. But, yeah, so, I guess, besides lightning delays, the racing itself was really good, especially on the few restarts we had. But, yeah, stage one, it's pretty interesting. I mean, yeah, the class of the field pretty much the whole race were Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, Chase Elliott, and Ryan Blaney. And those are, like, the only 4 cars even in the race. I mean, Denny Hamlin was definitely the most dominant car, like, overall, I would say. And then at the end of the race, maybe Chase Elliott probably was. Ryan Blaney had some pretty good short run speed, and Tyler Reddick was just pretty much consistent all around. But yeah, those 4 cars were class of the field. It was like, at the end of stage 1 or stage 2, they're all within, like, a couple seconds of each other. The next car was, like, 10 seconds behind. It was like... But, yeah. So, all in all, I have to say, first stage, besides the lightning delays, it was pretty good racing. Denny Hamlin won. Here, I'll check who got second. Sorry, guys. Just checking the race on my phone. Anyways, I believe stage 1, it was, Denny Hamlin, then Ryan Blaney, Tyler Reddick, Chase Elliott, Eric Almirola, Brad Keselowski, Alex Bowman, William Byron, Clint Boyer, and Chris Buescher. Chris Buescher got 10th stage point. Yeah, I noticed there were a lot of, like, underdog teams doing well. I mean, obviously Tyler Reddick was by far I think probably, people were saying Tyler Reddick won the race because he had such a good performance in that equipment. And, I mean, honestly, I agree. Tyler Reddick has looked really good. And, I mean, honestly, it just goes to show, honestly, I was not buying into this whole Christopher Bell and Cole Custer thing before this, in the offseason. Because we were hyping that up. And, I mean, the 95 as a whole, it just hasn't looked good. And, like, I mean, at the beginning, he made some mistakes on his own. But, I mean, before this quarantine break, it was like, I don't even know where he was. Like, he wasn't even in the top 30 in points. Like, he was terrible. And now, I mean, I actually don't even know where he is in points now. But, anyways, but Christopher Bell did come home with an 8th place finish at the end. Spoiler alert, but, yeah, I mean, but yeah, anyway, so, stage 2 is literally like a repeat of stage 1. There was no cautions. I mean, there were only 2 car accident, whatever, there were no cautions, like, really in this race. But stage 2 ran caution free, and like I said, Denny Hamlin, class of the field, won the stage. Tyler Reddick got second, Chase Elliott got third, Ryan Blaney fourth, 4 cars of the class of the field. Then you got William Byron, Alex Bowman, Martin Truex Jr., Austin Dillon, Kyle Busch, and Eric Almirola. So pretty similar to the first stage, is like, there wasn't a ton of movement throughout the top 10. Maybe Austin Dillon, like, coming up in there at the end. But, I mean, yeah, I would say there wasn't a lot of, like, really, like, change. It was pretty much the same cars the whole race. And then, at the end, I was a little angry. Honestly, another thing is, that Joey Logano-Ryan Newman caution, like, early in the final stage, I don't even know why they called the caution. Maybe I didn't see the full view, of, like, full angle of one of them, but I don't even think Joey Logano spun out. It looked like Ryan Blaney and him Ryan Newman and him just got together. It wasn't like caution worthy. It was like they're just desperate for caution. And Nascar was like, we got to get something interesting on here. But anyways, not trying to be rude. But yeah. I mean, but the end of this, so they had the green flag pit stops, and Chase Elliott takes advantage, kind of like I think he pitted a lap or two ahead of Hamlin, comes out a second and a half ahead of Hamlin or so, and Hamlin caught up and passed Chase Elliott. Joey Logano did play a role in this, trying to get back at Chase Elliott. He did give him that one shot earlier in the race, I think Joey Logano, he had a rough day. But I mean, yeah, there was that pit road mayhem kind of early on in this race, but that was probably the most eventful thing, like in terms of like contact and whatnot between the cars. But I do have to say, that was just. But besides on track, so you got the end of this race. So Denny Hamlin was it wasn't falling off per se, but the other cars were probably gaining on him a little bit, like they're catching up in terms of adjustments coming to the end of this race. And you got, so Tyler Reddick, Ryan Blaney, and Chase Elliott are all like within about a second and a half of Denny Hamlin. It was like 15, 20 laps to go. Ryan Blaney was probably falling off a little there at the end because he was more of a short run car anyways, but Tyler Reddick was starting to come on, like run some of the field. He was catching these leaders. Like he was, I think, a couple seconds back before this, and so he was really catching up to him. So one thing that was so frustrating was it was impossible. It was so hard to pass somebody, like who was if you were trying to pass somebody who was running the top lane and you're passing them on the bottom lane. It was like, it was so hard during this race. It's like 1 in 10 chance of getting it done. And the thing that was worse is if you didn't complete it, you're probably gonna lose a half a second or a second of time. Like it was and it was so hard to make up time. Like it was just. Like, that was really frustrating, kind of. But, yeah, so anyways, so Tyler Reddick's coming up on these guys, and, I mean, there's nothing wrong with Ryan Blaney doing this, he's just racing him, but, I don't know, it was like Tyler Reddick, they went side by side trying to pass Ryan Blaney for, like, 2 laps, or a lap or so, or 2 laps, and that just killed them. Like, they went from being within about a second and a half to maybe 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds. And I don't know if they showed Daniel Hemrick. These guys were so far ahead of the guy in 5th. Last lap, Daniel Hemrick was like, he was kind of far, he just didn't even try. He probably, he barely cruised around there. Like, he lost, going into the last lap, he was maybe half second behind Ryan Blaney. And then the race, by the last lap, he, cruised maybe 150 miles per hour, just 150, guys. But he was just cruising at, literally, maybe 20 miles per hour, a bit slower than everybody else. He was frustrated. But, anyways, needless to say, then Chase Elliott, who's maybe getting a little better than Denny Hamlin coming to the end of this thing, put himself on the wall with 2 laps to go and pretty much just handed Denny Hamlin the win. Oh, sorry, guys. But, yeah. So, that was kind of, I would say, it was entertaining in terms of they were trying to catch the leader, but then it was all 3 of these guys just had nothing for him at the end. And to be honest, it was I didn't really have any doubt in my mind, without any cautions, which I was praying for at the end of this thing just to make things a little more interesting. They didn't come, guys, and that hurt this race a lot. But, besides that, besides those top 4, I mean, Tyler Reddick had a really good run, but some other guys with, good runs were Austin Dillon. I don't want to talk playoffs right now because it's still, what? Count over, 13 races into this season, halfway through regular season about. But I think, I might make another video about my playoff predictions sometime later, way too early predictions. Thumbs up if you want that. So... Tyler Reddick and Austin Dillon, both these RCR cars that maybe running somewhere in the 20s are up in the last 5 races or so. They've been somewhat competitive for top 10s, and they're really shaking up the points, and including the inconsistency of guys like William Byron and Eric Jones, who are not looking too hot as of recent. And William Byron got a top 10 today and last week, but besides those, he's not looking too great. But yeah, so. Some shout-outs. You got Bubba Wallace, who finished 13th and 11th, and, what in the world, Bubba Wallace? Okay, no, but, that's looking up for that team. Matty Dean 14th, just solid run. And Michael McDowell got 15th. He got back-to-back top 15s. That's really good for that team, that equipment. And I mean, yeah, John Hunter Nemechek got 19th, but pretty much average day. But then you got like Eric Jones, who's finished 21st. That was not a very good day. Cole Custer finished 22nd. I don't know. He's not had a very good rookie season. I don't think he's going to do much this year. He's probably not. I mean, he's probably one of the biggest busts so far this season. Another bust is Matt Kenseth's return. Everybody was hyping that thing up so much, and he has just been terrible. Other than that first race back. But yeah, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, both had some really rough days. So did Ryan Newman. But, yeah, there wasn't even, like, a DNF in this whole race, I'm pretty sure, which pretty much just goes to show wasn't very many, like, accidents or even, like, people getting, like damaging their own cars, hitting the wall or whatnot. But, yeah, so I'll give this thing a 1 out of 10 rating, and I think I'll give it a 7, because I think Martinsville, I can't remember what my Martinsville was, but I think it was something like a 5 or 6 or so, and this is a little better, but if it had a caution there at the end, it would probably have been like an 8 or 9. Like, it would have just, not 9, but it would have been like an 8 or so if they could just spice things up and not had Denny Hamlin win. And I'm not a Denny Hamlin hater, but I mean, he dominated the whole race, and I guess he deserves the win. But, you know, you want things to maybe get a little different there, mix things up at the end. But, yeah. Oh, shoot. Sorry, guys. This is the second time. Jeff Jackman out. Hope you guys have a great week. I'll be back with predictions for Talladega's race next Sunday. Now, that is, I mean, that's probably one of the top 5 races of the season. I am hyped for Talladega, boys. Out.